I needed a new suitcase, so let's test out some new luggage. Hello and welcome to another Pack With Me video. Today we're going to be packing for my upcoming trip to Washington State, and we're going to talk about all things luggage. I haven't filmed one of these videos in a very long time, and that is because I feel like I haven't truly unpacked from a trip in about 6 or 7 months. I've had to travel at least once a month for the last half of a year, and so I truly feel like I've been living in luggage these days. All of that to say, I travel a lot, and so I take my suitcase selection pretty seriously. My constant traveling has a way of putting luggage to the test, so I've decided to come on here today to kind of share what I've learned over the last few months, as well as share my first impressions on some new luggage that I'd like to try. If you watched my video from about 2 years ago about my CalPak Hue Carry-On Suitcase, I'm here today to update you that I no longer use that suitcase. It lasted me about a little under a year before it cracked. I still have it today. It is right here. This is the CalPak Hue Carry-On Suitcase, and this one does have the front laptop pocket right here. I do still have it because I used it for our move to Chicago since I didn't need to roll it around as much, but I no longer use this for airport travel. And that is because of a crack that appeared right by the wheel that makes rolling it around the airport a little difficult these days. On the front side where the laptop pocket is, there is this crack right here on the wheel. As you can see, there is that crack. This appeared after I picked up the bag from baggage claim, so something had happened after I checked it in, and then as soon as I picked it up from the baggage carousel, there was this gnarly crack. And so when the suitcase is filled, there's some weight to it and it just cannot roll at the airport, unfortunately. In addition to the crack, I actually found myself not really using the front laptop pocket as much as I thought I would use. At the time of purchase, I thought it was this huge selling point and thought it was going to be so convenient to be able to put my laptop or other things in this front laptop pocket for easy access. But truthfully, I have become self-aware that I tend to fill up my suitcase, not quite to the brim where it's like overstuffed, but I do decently fill up my suitcases when I do travel. And unfortunately, if that's the case, there's like no room left to put anything in the laptop pocket once you fill up the inner storage area. With that said, it could totally work for you. It just depends on how much you want to store in that inner section. If you're just using this for business trips for maybe 1 to 2 days, I can see that that's totally possible. But since I'm a runner and when I do travel, I do like to bring like my running shoes and some running gear, it just ends up being a little too full in order to really utilize that front laptop pocket. As soon as my CalPak Hue Carry-On Suitcase cracked, I did switch over to a Level 8 Glitter carry-on, which is this one. I also made a video when I first unboxed this one and shared my first impressions. This is my very first suitcase of Level 8 that I tried out. I did end up using this suitcase for about a year up until another crack formed at the wheel. I wish I was making this up. I wish that it was user error and that I'm somehow cracking my suitcases at the exact same spot, but it was the same story. I picked it up from baggage claim and lo and behold, there's a crack at the wheel. So let me see if I can show you guys a close-up. As you can see, there is a gnarly crack at the wheel again. This one's actually on the back side of the suitcase, not that that really should matter. And just full disclaimer, I don't usually check in my carry-on suitcases. I only ever check them in when like the overhead bin is at capacity. I try my best to carry on as much as I can. I avoid checking in when possible for kind of this exact reason, but unfortunately I got unlucky and it cracked again at the wheels. The good news is with the durability of the Level 8 suitcase, it is a little bit of a thicker hard shell, I think. The material makes it so that even though there is that crack at the bottom of the wheel, the whole suitcase doesn't sink if you were to roll it around at the airport. If I end up needing to check it in again, I don't know if like one more hit is gonna like really call it. So I've been trying to avoid using this as much as possible, but honestly, I still use it to this day when needed, and I really love the organization of the inside of it. So those are some of the learnings I've had over a couple of carry-on options that I've tried over the last couple of years, which leads me to today's video where I am trying out a brand new luggage set from Level 8. So thank you so much and shout out to them for gifting me the Voyager set to try. We're gonna do some close-ups in a little bit here, but as you can see behind me, they gifted me the check-in option for the Voyager set as well as the carry-on option. I'm excited to take both of these to my trip to Washington to really put them to the test here. I will be staying in Washington for about a week or so, both for leisure and for work, and so I will be needing the check-in option. so I get to test out both. Again, shout out to Level 8 for sending me the Voyager set to test out. This is gifted product. This is not a sponsored video, so all of my thoughts will be my own. So I believe this is the 26-inch Voyager check-in option, and then this guy is the 20-inch carry-on option. Okay, so let's talk about first impressions. We'll start with the carry-on. A lot of the features are duplicative for the carry-on and check-in, so let's start with this one, which I anticipate using the most. I did get both of the suitcases in black this time. What I immediately noticed is that it is still very light and very durable as well, which mimics the white suitcase that I had from Level 8, which I do appreciate. It feels a lot more sturdy than the CalPak one I had recently used. Kind of a necessary feature, at least for me, is the TSA lock. The check-in one behind me does have that option as well right here on the side, so there is a TSA lock for the check-in as well. 360 spinner wheels, no changes there. Big fan of that with my recent Level 8 suitcase. I will cut to a different screen so I can have a different angle to show you guys the inside of the suitcase, but I did want to show you the more unique features of the Voyager set, and that is this larger luggage handle. What makes the Voyager set unique is this longer handle. The thinking behind the larger handle is that way on the inside, the base has a lot more room for your belongings. It's going to maximize your base packing within the luggage itself. He will probably be in and out of the video, honestly. He loves sitting in suitcases. This is the interior side of the carry-on suitcase. I'll start here because then I will be packing the check-in one with you guys in a little bit. As you can see, there are mesh dividers here, which I really loved about my previous Level 8 suitcase. It really helps me keep organized, but it also helps me compress my belongings whenever that's necessary. There are pockets. There is a water-resistant pocket. There is a mesh zipper pocket right here. And then when you open the larger section of the suitcase, as you can see, there is no holes going through the middle of the suitcase. The base is completely flat. I'm excited to test it out for myself, but that's kind of the thinking behind the design, is that it'll maximize that base space here. So that is one side, and then when you open the other, and then this is the other side. This is what the interior looks like for the 26-inch check-in suitcase. Again, very similar layout as the carry-on that I just showed you, but there's just a ton more space. A waterproof pocket at the top, and then a mesh pocket here at the bottom. There's the mesh divider that I very much like for compression purposes. And then of course, you have a ton of space on this side. I'm not used to having a suitcase that isn't even when you lay it flat while you're packing. It's interesting because this side is definitely going to be taller than the front side. We'll see how that plays out, if I have preferences or not, but for now, what's really cool about this again is the lack of the handle pulls that run on the inside of the suitcase. It is a flat base that will truly maximize your packing experience. There is this divider here that you could use if you like, but you could also leave it flat as well, so where you have additional space. Now that I finished showing you guys the different features of each of the suitcases, we're gonna go ahead and start packing. To help me with my packing, Level 8 also sent me some packing cubes that I'm going to be testing out. My other packing cubes that I think I ordered off Amazon a long time ago need to be retired anyways because I've been using them for over 5 years now. It is time for some fresh packing cubes. Their packing cube set does come with 4 different bags, and so we have the garment bag, the footwear or journey bag, the electronics bag. I already have some electronics packed in here, the beauty and grooming bag, which are about the same size. Excited to stay organized for this trip to Washington. And on that note, let's go ahead and start packing. The check-in suitcase carries more than enough for my trip to Washington, and I'm even overpacking a little bit. Still have so much room to spare. What I have left to pack are obviously going to be the toiletries, which I will definitely be using my new packing cubes, but I'm gonna go ahead and wait to pack the toiletries until tomorrow. All I have kind of left to pack are my toiletries and my electronics and my shoes, which will all go on the other side of my check-in suitcase. And then Lucas, my husband, will actually be joining me for about 2 or 3 days in Washington, so he'll actually be using the carry-on suitcase for his belongings. So with those two combined, we are set. Thank you again for joining me as we pack for my trip and explore some new Level 8 luggage. Again, big shout out to Level 8 for sending me these products to test out. Very excited for my trip to Washington. I'll be sure to check back in with you guys on a review on some of these items as I get to use them more and more throughout the summer. But for now, stay tuned for a lot of travel content coming up this summer. Until the next one, I'll talk to you guys soon.